I wrote to you today, to the Mayor and Council. I hope you received that email. It was rather lengthy. I realize you have a lot to get through in a day, so I don't know if you managed to get a chance to plow through some of that. I just wanted to sort of touch on some of the points that I wanted to thank you for those of you who were able to make it last week to hear Frank Nelson speak. I hope you found it informative. And I appreciate you taking the time to hear him and to hear me this evening. I think I speak for quite a few citizens when I commend you for having made a quick decision about the bridge. But I just wanted to say that for many of us, I think the decision has been too quick. And I'm asking you to help us. We still have a lot of questions about whether repairing or replacing the bridge is the right course of action. And I ask you to address those questions and to bring the public along with you. It's very difficult to lead if the public is not behind you, and I think that's necessary in this case. And to do that, I believe that you need to pause and evaluate all of the evidence that's been put before you, and to get some formal plans, and to put them before the public, and to put them before the public in a referendum. There is some urgency here, but it's not so great that the public's questions should be dismissed. The federal money is going to be in place for 7 years. The interest rates are not going anywhere. Delcan's assessment said that the only parts of the bridge that need immediate attention are the electrical system, and the bridge is not going to fall down tomorrow. If it were, the city would not be planning to keep it open for the next 3 years while it's building a new one. So please remember that you are building a bridge for the next 100 years. This should not be rushed. This should be done carefully and deliberately and with clear public approval. Now, soon you're going to decide how to seek that approval, and as I said in my letter today, and as the Times columnist editorialized, you should seek that approval through a referendum and not by using the alternative approval process. I know you can use the alternative approval process, but just because you can do something does not mean that you should. As I outlined in my letter today, I have a lot of concerns with the alternative approval process. It may work in small towns, but it's a very different animal in big cities. And it can have effects that a city does not anticipate. As I mentioned in the letter, we have spoken with a lot of people who rely on business with the city, and they are worried that if they sign a petition, that this will somehow come back at them. They rely on grants, they have contracts, and these fears may be unfounded, but they exist. And the difficulty with AAP is that it also appears, in some cases, to work like negative option billing, and it diminishes people's faith in their government. Those are real costs, maybe not as quantifiable in the same way that a referendum is, or that organizing a referendum, but they are real. I spoke with the Ministry of Community Development, and unfortunately they have not published any kind of best practices manual for AAP. But the idea, they explained to me, is that you should have the open discussion first, resolve your issues, then you draft the bylaw, and then you hold the AAP. You do not use the AAP as the means of discussion. Now, I know the city undertook an unprecedented effort with its public engagement strategy.
You have 40 seconds left.
Yes. But it did not offer repair as an option, did not say the bridge would cost $42 million, it did not describe the impact this would have on the city in terms of cutbacks. The situation is now more clear. I want, and I think we want, an open discussion about what's best to do here. It's the public's money, it's the public's bridge. Please give the public a fair chance to decide the bridge's future. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Crawford. I will say one thing. Perhaps you may want to check in the future if you can check and see that the Bank of Canada that's predicting aggressive interest rates increases over the next year. That has been echoed by the Canadian Bureau of Bank of Commerce analysts. There is a huge amount of information coming out of the States that they're looking at least a 2% increase next year. So your comment about interest rates not going anywhere may not be true. I urge you to read the business section of the Times Columnist. Secondly, and I will say this, in talking to the Times Columnist, we understand that there is an opportunity that if this moves forward to alternative approval process, that there will be a monitor piece. But in the interim, I encourage you and others to go to the johnsonstreetbridge.com website that we have. I believe we have answered many of your questions, in fact all of them, in a letter from 3M discussing the whole issue we have. And truly I'm sorry that you think that 8 months of consultation is not long enough. But that's 8 months is a timely matter to make a decision. So I'm sorry that you don't think that that's quick enough. Thank you very much. Next speaker, please.
Next speaker is Vicki McMillan.